Welcome to the one.
That song turns a 3 into a 10.
To the only
Like she ate a whole cow and just.
Coda's Crib podcast.
And you heard the donkey just.
I'm more afraid of lions than Asians.
So at what point are we taking innocent chicken lives?
I go to the guest room, that's where that's at.
Yep.
And so I'm sleeping, right? And it's like 7:30 in the morning. And I'm about to get up, but I hear, oh my gosh.
Welcome back to Coda's Crib podcast, the number 4.5 podcast in the world. Available on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Rumble, on all of them. If we're out there, if you're out there, we're there. If we're out there, you're there. So be there every other 7 p.m. Friday night. People out there trying to say it's not 4.5. Your podcast isn't this. It isn't that. Isn't that. You got too much going on in your home life. I don't know what's going on, but might want to check that out before you check out 4.5 podcast in the world. But
I did hear someone say recently. They actually asked me, "Is it actually a 4.5 like podcast in the world?"
Google it.
And so I said yes.
Google it.
Because they didn't believe me.
Yeah,
so
absolutely it is. So Google it. We're out there. Thank you so much for watching. Comment your favorite lobster.
And then I get up, open the guest room door, and Braden's in the bathroom. His nose is just bleeding out the wazoo. Like it's just going crazy, like bleeding. And I'm like, dude, I just woke up to that. That's how it started. And then from then I had to do school and then cut the grass, and then it was just from then on just like, ugh. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just sometimes you have those days.
So what happened to Braden?
Oh, he just put a tissue up there and stopped it. He was like that for like 5-10 minutes, and then he was good. Went to school. Was this another one of those times where my story didn't go nowhere?
No, I mean it went somewhere. I was after you started it with the Braden thing, I thought you were gonna like
Finish it with the Braden.
Yeah, or just be like, I went in and he had been fighting a raccoon and.
Let's just come to this conclusion. I'm terrible at telling stories.
No, it's fine. No, it's your story. You tell it wherever it wants to go.
Bro, Coco just ripped it.
Did she?
Because you can't smell anymore, can you?
No, I'm telling you,
she just ripped the mess out of that. That's why she went over there.
Dogs are so amazing. Like they get scared. They're scared of their own tail and they're scared of their own farts.
Yeah.
Dude, you ever seen a dog rip one and then like run from it and like? Mm-hmm. She's literally so dumb. That's
what she just did.
Yeah, she'll literally run from her own farts. It's like, dude, you let it rip, and she'll look back like, who would do that? You did it. So I don't get it. I heard a funny I heard someone say there was this golf course that like put up a fence, and they said, hey, we put this fence up to protect us from all the skunks, and someone was like, skunks? Like, the golf course gets a lot of skunks? And they were like, yeah, the two-legged skunks.
Oh, man.
What does that mean? I'm thinking that's like a person.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, like a person, but like, are they going on the golf course and just crapping all over?
You know what that made me think of?
What?
My grandpa. So.
Denzel?
Yeah. So I'm growing up. Right, like the whole time, like my childhood, I always went to the hunting club with him. Our little hunting property, went deer hunting all the time with him.
Yep.
And then I remember to this day, and he still tells me now. He's like, one day, Tyler. He's like, I'm so thankful that you're going with me, but one day, Tyler. And this would be as we're sitting in the deer stand, right? We're literally hunting in that moment, and he's like, one day, Tyler, you're gonna be walking around hunting those two-legged deer. And I'm like, at that moment,
like the does, the girls.
At that moment, I'm like, I have no clue what he's talking about. I'm like,
how old were you?
He's just going probably like 9, 10 at the time. And then, sure enough, my grandpa was right.
Dang.
Because when I turned, it was probably sophomore year, freshman year, I didn't go hunting as much.
Yeah.
I would go, but now I guess my passions are just elsewhere. But dude, I'll go on Thanksgiving and certain weekends to make my grandpa happy. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of that's like a good life lesson you learn from your grandpa. I'm trying to think some life lessons I learned from my grandpa. The ones that come to the top of my head, I can't repeat
Oh,
for the viewer. But but talking about hunting got me thinking about when I went with Raj one time. Let me tell you, if you know my cousin Raj, hunting with him is always, you never know what you're gonna get. He'll promise you that there's gonna be like 20 buck, like 84 pointers that are just gonna be there, just wanting you to shoot them. And sometimes there's a couple, and sometimes there's nothing. But he's always positive that there's gonna be that buck, that deer for him to kill. Well, it reminds me of one time. He's a big bow hunter, so I went bow hunting with him, and this was like my first time.
Crossbow?
No,
Okay,
actual bow.
Okay.
Like this was like what do they call it? Compound. I think it was a compound, but it was like one of those. Well, I want to say it was like a 60-pounder or something. It was like one of those you gotta like really pull to get back. So it was like a couple years ago, and I'm going, and like Jordan, my brother, has one that's like maybe 30 or something. So it's still, you gotta get it, but not his is like a big boy. You gotta like pull it all the way back. It's a workout. So I the first one I did, like I barely got it back and was just like, where's the target? I'm going. And so he's like, all right, hey dude, no, you gotta do this. He's like, he literally, like, you know how you like would teach your girlfriend to like shoot a bow. He's like, all right, this time I'm gonna do it with you. And I'm like,
he got around you?
Yeah. So he gets around me. He pulls it back, like I pull it back, majority of it, and then he like helps me back a little bit. And I'm like, all right, I'm locked in. He's like, all right, look through this one. You want to get on this little like little colored thing is the we're aiming, yada yada. And I'm like, all right. Well, dude, I felt awkward as junk, and like, I mean, I hadn't shot a ton of bows, but I was like, dude, this does not feel right. He's like, no.
Were you awkward because of him standing around you?
A little bit, and I was like, dude, this does not feel right. I'm like, I don't know if I'm lined up. He's like, no, trust me, you're lined up. So I have it pulled back, and then he's like, all right, release. I release that joker, and it hits my forearm.
Oh, it scrapes it.
Yeah, so the string drills my forearm. Dude, within like 5 seconds, I have the biggest sore, like, or what do you call that? Like a
like
bruise,
rash?
bruise.
Okay.
I have the biggest bruise on my arm, and I'm like, dude, Raj, yeah, that was not right. So he
What'd he
got
say?
me pretty good. He was like, oh, my bad, bro. And I was like,
That's it.
all right, fair enough. Well, then comes that night when he was like, dude, we're gonna see so many deer out there. We're gonna see so many.
Yes,
We saw maybe one, and it was way off because you gotta be pretty close to shooting bow. Well, so we're in a stand. We see one way off, whatever. Well, dude, it's getting like, sun goes down at what, like 8 o'clock. Well, this was hunting time, so I don't know. Whenever sun goes down, it was 30 minutes after it, and we're still in the stand. And he's like, "Dude, I promise, we're gonna get one. And I'm like, "Dude, with what?" He pulls out a flashlight, gives me a flashlight. He's like, "Dude, I see one coming. It's eating the corn." And I'm like, "Okay, it's dark." I literally could not see like 10 yards in front of me. I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" He's like, "Dude, it's eating the corn." And I'm like, "Great. It's also pitch black. You can't see that. I can't see that." He's like, "Here's what we're gonna do." He's like, on go, you're going to shine that flashlight on the deer. I'm going to be pulled back, and as soon as you shine it, I say go, I'm going to release. I'm like, dude, you can't even see it, though. And I don't know if this is illegal, if this is spotlighting. It might be, so it might be outing ourselves. I don't know. But I was like, this was BC Day. So I was like, all right, let's do this. And so I literally go, and he's like, all right. He pulls it back. I don't know what he's aiming at. He pulls it back, and I'm like, I was just praying that flashlight's on the deer when I shine it, 'cause I don't know. So I'm just like, all right. He goes, 3, 2, 1, go. As soon as I do it, I flash it on. He releases. He was like 20 yards off. Wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Wasn't even within.
Did you at least find the deer in the thing, in the flashlight?
I mean, yeah, we saw it. Like, yes, because the flashlight was like a really good flashlight. It's like, yeah, it was in there, but he had like literally 0.3 seconds, and the deer was gone just like that. So I was like, dude, what are you doing?
So what was the lesson from your grandpa? I don't know how I got on that.
I thought a deer stand, because you're talking about your grandpa on the deer stand. I don't know. I'm trying to think of some lessons from my grandpa, but
dude, it's all good. Hey, you learn lessons from your grandpa. I think I learned lessons. Dude, get this. When I'm getting my hair cut.
Okay.
Think of this, dude. Think of all the conversations. No, now you have to be tight with your haircut lady or
Yep.
haircut person.
Your barber.
Yeah, barber. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty tight. Like we talk about like what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
Shelby, I know you're out there, and so
Shout out to Shelby. She's
yeah,
clutch
dude.
Coda's Crib supporter. So
every time.
Shelby, if you're listening, thank you.
Yeah, and her husband Chris. I mean, he's the best.
Oh, Chris is amazing.
Gosh.
Chris is so great.
But I mean, you can't beat it. But yeah, those haircut combos that you have, like when you're sitting in the chair, just like getting treated, right? And
Yeah.
You just tell your whole life story, and they talk right back.
See,
it's awesome.
Now there is something to be said about like having a consistent barber that you go to.
Mm.
I don't have that, so I'm missing that connection in my life.
Mm.
So mine is always like, all right, I go in and I see who it is, and I'm like, all right, are we gonna vibe or not?
Oh, like
'Cause-
Great Clips. You go to Great Clips?
Yeah, I go to Great Clips because sometimes
I did that for a while.
it's like I can just tell off the looks of this we aren't gonna vibe.
You like drive by, peek through the window.
Yeah, I'm just like, this isn't gonna go well. Or
Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't know, maybe they can shine some perspective on us. Maybe
Mhm.
Shelby can talk to us. But like, who's it solely responsible on to kind of get the conversation flowing?
Mm.
Is it the person going in for the haircut, or is it the hairstylist? Like,
Yeah.
because are they reading your vibes and they're like, all right, if they're not going to talk to me, I'm not going to talk to them while I cut their hair? Or should they be like, okay, even if they seem like they don't want to talk, I'm going to like, get to know them? Because that's a tough spot.
Oh yeah.
And maybe it's different everyone. Maybe
It's different on the person, different on
Yeah.
who comes
maybe
in.
the
Like,
vibes.
because I have been in situations where nobody has said anything.
Yeah.
And you just get in, thank you, and then walk out.
Yeah.
But then you have some people that like they just want to talk, and then I've even witnessed that like somebody would go in there on the phone, like on a phone call while they're cutting their hair, and then when they got to the side that they're holding the phone. The lady had to tell him to switch ears. Like he had to put over here. It was funny.
some of those hairstylists, they're giving you a haircut, and the ones that they could talk to a gosh darn wall.
Yeah.
Those jokers, I swear they be cutting my hair, and they'll be on the back for like 30 minutes, and I'm like, I think you've already cut that like 3 times. I think you're just trying to stall this out to get a combo, and it's like, let's just get in and get out.
I can see that happened to me, but it was like the opposite. Like I was in middle of conversation with Shelby, and like she says she was done, and I'm like, wait, did she even like cut any of the back of my hair? Like, and then when she took the thing off, I look back, I'm like, oh, it was already done. Like she. Like I was just like lost, like right in the conversation, and
Yeah.
just chilling. So that I guess lesson from that is just find you a good barber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
find you a good barber, and if you
Mhm.
have, then you kind of made it in life. So, yeah, I don't know what much to say about
Mm-mm.
other than that. I don't know if there really is much to say other than that. But here's what I want to know is, what do you say when you're let me phrase this right.
Mhm.
What do you do when you're alone with a dog? I feel like that's a tough question. You
Like
know what
just
I'm
one
saying?
dog.
Do you do something different if you're with 2 rather than
Well,
one?
I mean, I'm just saying like last time I was alone with one dog was probably when dog sat Coco. It was just me and her at the house.
or you're at your house with your dog.
Yeah.
It's like just
I think it depends
just
on the
when you're alone
dog
with your dog.
because like some dogs they don't want to have nothing to do with you,
Yeah.
but some dogs they want to be like a lap dog and
Yeah.
sit with you, you know.
I feel like that's where like true character is defined. Like,
Mhm.
what do you do when you're alone with your dog?
And
you know
then-
what I'm saying?
And then you got dogs that it's so weird. And somebody recently explained this to me in a great way. I'm not gonna be able to do the same,
Uh-oh.
do it the best, but they were just like these certain dogs want attention, but they're like they don't want to be around people, but they want attention at the same time. But they're almost so they like get up next to you. They're like mad while you're scratching like their neck, their back of their behind their ear, but they're like growling at you, but they also like think it feels good. So they just keep going with it. And it's like, what do you want, dog? And then when you stop scratching them, they like get mad or run away. I'm like, dude, what do you make up your mind, dog? I don't know. I think it depends on the dog though. Whatever happens alone, I don't know.
I don't know. I was just in the room, like, actually, this was like yesterday morning or something. Like, I wake up and it was just me and my dog. She's sitting there, and I was like, literally just me and her, and I was just like, I could end you right now.
Oh,
That's what I told her, and I was just like, I own you, and I kept telling her that, like, I own you, and then it just came in my head, like, I wonder what other people do when they're alone with their dog. You know what I'm saying?
I was actually thinking this morning, about like, because it was just like you said, me and my dogs, and in the living room at the house, and I got like I started thinking like in the past, like when we first got them and stuff like that, and just like nostalgic, vibes, like, and then I started thinking like, man, nostalgia is like so good because like I can reminisce on the good times, but it's also like so bad at the same time because you almost want those times back, and it's like, dang, they're good times, but like, why can't it be that simple again?
That's true.
Dogs bring back so many things.
And then I just like kept going in, and I was just like, you have no social life. You have no social life.
Okay.
Cause like literally, we're her only life. Like, she doesn't get out and hang out with her friends. So I just like made sure she knew that.
Yeah, you're just telling her. You like hold her paw when you told her, right?
No.
Oh.
I no, honestly. I told her in a way that was like playful, so she actually was like wanting to like play. So she like grabbed the ball, and then I was just like, like, I control if you play fetch or not. And I just let her know, like, I own her.
It's like you say, it's like, you're so stupid, Coco.
Yeah,
You're so, like, and they like think it's like the best.
Dogs are simple yet complex,
Animals, bro. And you want me to tell you about something about an animal?
Yeah,
This is what I was gonna tell you. Okay, I'm coming. So me and you were at the lake all weekend.
Yep.
And so I decided to stay Saturday night, right?
Oh gosh. Yep.
But I leave Sunday morning early. I have to be there at 7:30. So I leave at 5:30. I'm not even 5 minutes from the church. I'm driving down, just silent car, praying to the Lord, getting ready for the day, for Sunday morning at church, right?
Yeah.
Not even 5 minutes from the church. I'm driving. It's a back road, almost there. A deer runs out right in front of me. I've never hit a deer before, and I hit. I was going like 35 though. It wasn't like a main road. It was a back road. So I was going 35 probably. Not fast at all, but still, I hit that deer. And I was playing Rocket League. Like
Did it die?
And so I hit it. I'm like, so I stopped, right? And I'm like, crap, bro. I hope it's not. My truck's not messed up. I open the door. It gets up and runs as soon as I open the door. And so then I'm like, let me go check my truck. So I go over there, and my headlight's like knocked in, and it's still like that. So that's why in the morning I gotta go get it. But hey, that's why we have insurance, Gotta go get it inspected in the morning and do everything.
Dang, that's it. That was one heck of a hit. Dude, this morning I literally, on a back road, while I was on the phone with one of my buddies, I screamed like a little girl because a hawk flew by my car, and I swerve out the way to miss it. Literally, like, out of nowhere, swoops right in the middle. I swerve out of the way. Not even a mile down the road, like 4 seconds later, these deer just come running by, and I literally almost drilled a deer. And I'm like, what is the Lord trying to tell me?
Today?
Yeah, this morning.
Oh, gosh.
On my way to go golf. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. And I was on the phone with my buddy. I start screaming like a girl. And he's like, oh, my gosh, what happened? Anyways, in that story, I do remember one thing that I have learned from my grandpa.
Oh,
And it has
okay.
to do
So you
with
weren't
dogs.
listening to my story.
No, I was. And
No, you
and
weren't.
That's why it brought me that flashback back.
Yeah, let me hear it. Let me hear it.
No, my grandpa, he did tell me one time, he said, Dakota.
Opal?
Nope, the other grandpa. He said, do you want to know who man's best friend really is? I said, yeah, sure, whatever. He's like, I was told the story one time of our dog's really man's best friend. He said, to know, what you do is you go and you lock your wife and your dog in a car, and you leave them there for 12, 24 hours. Just lock them. Don't let them get out. Don't do anything. And then you come back a day later, and you open that door, and you see who's excited to see you. And I was like,
oh, my gosh.
that's actually kind of mind-blowing stuff.
But that's something you only do until you have a wife and dog. But
then I would
that's
definitely recommend maybe even honeymoon type vibes of seeing. But no, honestly, I'm like, you know what? You can't argue with that logic. I mean, dogs are really man's best friend.
I mean, dude, you get that in during the honeymoon, and like right off the bat, you find out who is your real friend.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, that's a great lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I even told my dog I didn't even know if she was going to heaven or not. I was like, I honestly, I don't know. When I was just pounding her and telling her I own her, and
Yeah, it happens. Hey, but look at her now. So cute, just laying there.
how do you stop uncontrollable laughter?
Dude, what just popped in my head is I'm thinking of like me in school, like
Yeah.
back in the day, where I'm trying so hard not to laugh because I know I'm in a standardized test, but my buddy's right over here. And so when we get done, we like look at each other and then we like start busting out laughing, but we got to keep it in. And then you're like doing everything in your power to bite your tongue and not stop.
Yeah. I think back to the story of Trent when we did like testing back in the day when we were real little, and he held up like a paper once he
You
was
told
done with
me
the
this.
test. Yeah. And he was like, "You want to trade underwear?" And I looked over and I couldn't stop laughing, so the teacher threw me out. And like I just, once I start laughing, I just can't stop. Even the other day I was doing something and I like couldn't stop laughing, and it's always a serious time.
Yeah.
And you just can't stop.
Mm-mm.
And I'm just like, what do you do in that moment? I try to think of like sad things like death I mean, I just try it all, but it still don't work. I overcome with that uncontrollable laughter.
Yeah. And what makes it worse is that some people have a more contagious laugh than others.
Yeah.
When you hear somebody start laughing, it's the funniest thing. But then sometimes you hear somebody start laughing, and it's like it ruins the mood.
You know, laughter can like either bring life into the room or suck life out of the room. You can quote me on that because that's
Wow.
pretty legit.
Dang.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, we're just out here making quotes left and right.
I mean, it is true. Someone comes in the room and it's just it can
Yeah.
it can
I
ruin
agree.
the day.
That's good. One time I couldn't stop laughing is we had this little we were eating some candy during class, and the teacher, so you know like they get on the whiteboards, right? So they turn around to write on the whiteboards, and the class is behind them at this point, behind their backs. And so my friend is sitting he's sitting in the desk and two desks in front of me, right? And so he has a little candy wrapper. And so he turns around, and I have my pencil like it's like a little bat, right? We're playing some baseball, and I'm about to hit it right back at him. So he gets this little wrapper, and he throws it back. And I'm like, I'm ready. And I hit that joker. I wasn't expecting to hit it because it's like a little bitty pencil, right?
Yeah.
And like it's like when you're those baseball drills when you're trying to hit a little pea
Yeah.
with like a little bitty bat. Oh, I hit that wrapper, and let me just tell you, I knocked it out of the park. I hit that teacher.
No.
In the back. Boom. Hit him square in the back. She turned around and said, "Who hit that paper?" So, like that.
Whoever
threw that paper.
that's exactly what I was thinking. Whoever hit that paper.
Yeah,
Mom.
but
Yeah, that's
I got an infraction that day. So yeah,
that's dude. I remember
it was worth it. It was worth it.
Absolutely, it's all worth it. I mean, even I remember one time. So I was at school and we had like rows. So there was the first row. There was like 3 tables lined across, and I was the back row. So I was on the back row, and I'm trying to think what I can say to not give. There was one kid in particular, just kind of, he was out there a little bit. All right, I'm not gonna give more than that. It might give it away. He was out there a little bit, and so we had assigned seatings in this class because people had already like been messing around, whatever. Well. This one guy, great guy, really is, but interesting guy. That's all I can say. And I'm sitting in the back. He's like literally like 3 seats over to the right of me, in front of me. I'm behind him there, and then my buddy, one of my good buddies, is like down the row, like 4 or 5 seats. So I'm literally sitting there, and I'm just doing my thing, taking notes, being a good little student, and well. That kid, he had chosen to wear a piece of clothing that maybe didn't fit him the best, and maybe forgot to wear a belt, I guess.
Gosh.
So
I
it was 10 a.m., but he had that 3 p.m. Plumber's crack. So out of nowhere, I'm doing my homework. I'm just writing, all that good stuff, like actually being a good student for once. And my buddy, like, just
He was trying to play a slot machine.
I guess so. It was either credit or debit.
Yeah.
And my buddy just was like, and I like he did it like 2 times.
He's
Heck,
trying to get
so
your
I look,
attention.
yeah. So he's trying to get my
Yeah.
attention. I look over, and then he like, and so I'm literally like doing nothing, and then like I literally like peek, and it's pretty. It's the Grand Canyon going on there. I look up, and I'm like. I couldn't stop laughing.
Getting
I
hauled in.
could not stop laughing. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I was dying. And
I've definitely been there.
it happens. And then one other time, I'm not gonna lie, this was kind of mind blowing to me. It might be mind blowing to other people out there. We were in some math class, and our teacher like gave us Smarties and stuff. And so I'm just eating my Smarties, whatever. Well, I look over and I just start hearing, like, I'm taking notes, whatever. I hear like the banging on the table, like people are banging on the table. And I'm like, what the world's going on? And they're like banging it up with like their pencil and stuff, like banging on the table. I'm like, what's going on? Well, before you know it, like I'm just doing my thing, and I look over to my left, and one of the guys in the class just has his Smartie, like a cigarette, is smoking his Smarties.
In class.
In class. Did you like I didn't realize you could smoke Smarties like that. But so he had taken his pencil, like chopped it up and then wrapped it up and was smoking them, and I was like, and our teacher like just didn't care.
Yeah. She knew it was Smarties.
She knew it was Smarties, I guess, but I was like,
Yeah.
what's going on right now?
I remember when that was like came big, and I was same way as you. I was so amazed, like, bro,
I was
why are
like,
we smoking a Smartie. Hey, that's
I was
anyways.
I don't know if what do they call that? A kind of drug, like that leads to other bad things. Like they say marijuana is a what do they call that?
Not narcotic.
No, it's like is a
This is why we have Google.
I know Google is clutch. Oh no, what's the word called? Someone out there is gonna help me out. It like leads to more. It's to more. Sorry, we can cut this out. It is. Oh, what do you call that? A gateway drug. Good grief!
That's exactly.
I
I
was trying-
thinking that, but
I was trying so hard. I don't know if like Smarties, if you smoke Smarties, if that's a gateway drug or not. But I mean, you're not too far away from just chopping them up and snorting them.
Yeah.
You know, like Smarties might be a gateway drug. We got to check that out there.
Who
Can we?
knows? Who knows?
can
I
we see
mean,
that?
these days, I mean, you can get kind of messed up by anything. Too much of anything is bad, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I
That's
remember
true.
when somebody was getting a Sharpie, and
That might have been me. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Sharpies they smell. Now that when I had COVID, I don't like the smell anymore. It's not as good as it was. But I guess that's the Lord's way of helping me out. But I used to love Smarties. But yeah, we did have like kids who would literally pop like 3 of them out, and they'd just be a teacher would look away to write on her board, and they'd pop 3, snort them real quick, and put them down.
God.
I was like, grief.
Dude, good
Yeah.
times. Hey,
So we
got
gotta check all those gateway drugs like
We do.
Smarties, Sharpies, gasoline. We gotta see what
gasoline, grass, fresh cut grass.
fresh cut grass,
Yeah,
dude.
we both cut grass today. It was
You put some fresh cut grass in a plastic clear bag and snort that every other day.
oh yeah,
Might
all
be a
that.
gateway,
Especially in the spring, get all that pollen, all the allergies.
dude. I mean, that really is a question of what can't be a drug, like fresh burnt rubber.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, put that up. Yeah, I don't know. So
who knows?
who knows? But that's it, I think, for the day. Great job. Thank you for joining. Thanks for watching. Available on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, all of it. We're out there 7 p.m. every other Friday night. Comment your favorite lobster.
Yeah, lobster's good.
Yeah. You got anything
Just like-
else?
It's good, just like this pod. I love doing it with you, man.
Lobster bisque. We'll see you later.